at this Tuesday night. It is week number 944, August 4th, 2026, with my distinguished panel. Nick to my immediate left, Brady, wearing the Phillies cap. A bet is a bet.
It is.
If the Phillies had lost that rain-shortened game on Sunday, I would be wearing the Orioles hat. Right?
I feel like one of those NFL players who makes a bet with like their friend about when their colleges play and they lose and they got like a Michigan guy wearing Ohio State gear. That's how I feel right now.
Priceless. Well, it's being recorded for posterity, so anybody who wants can look it up. The day Brady wore a Phillies hat, I got to keep mine on too. So let's start with ET. It's not extraterrestrial. It is ejection.
Ejection tracker. So we had a fluid amount of numbers thanks to one individual with Don Kelly. He got ejected twice.
What's the record for most consecutive ejections? I always ask these
He's
questions.
He's in the clubhouse right now with 5. So that's the
year
most already. You know, with a young skipper like him, he's
Bobby
got that
Cox
energy there.
territory.
Yeah. So his second ejection last week was he was arguing over the game should be delayed because of rain, and it was pouring. Now the thing is, it was in the top of the 4th. So if they finished the top of the 4th, they were losing, and the Reds were winning 7-1. So if they tarp it, you know, once the rain stops, they're going to resume the game and play the full game. They eventually did play the full game, but the funny thing is they were getting sandbags out there and you know trying to alleviate the field being destroyed. So then they're arguing as it's raining. So they delayed the game because they're arguing, and then he gets ejected. The game's not playing because of the sandbags and all that there. So it's just funny how he gets ejected because of that. Skip Shoemaker was
Funny? You think that's funny?
well, just the time and place there, the rain. And then the other ejection was Skip Shoemaker was ejected in between the 7th inning stretch, and they were playing God Bless America. So he stopped arguing, and then once the song was over, then he was arguing more and then got ejected and all that there. So you don't see that too often, but you can't.
Time out.
Yeah. Time out. Take the hat off.
Cartoonish in a way,
Yeah.
but
81 is the total, so it was a
81.
increase there.
That's
So
7 per week. That's.
we got 2 months left of the season.
What was it
so
last year? Do you remember the total? 120.
I think it was like 125, 130 around that
It's in here somewhere.
neck of the woods
but,
there. So
we don't have time to. If we had AI, it would be at the tip of our tongue. Or put all this data on AI, we could just summon it. Something.
or I can just look back
about
for my
this.
old notes from last year.
We can flip through all the pages.
I was kidding. It just goes back 10
Well-
years, I think, at least.
Look back for my notes from September 30th. Let's see here.
Boy, you are organized.
It's that new age technology.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Maybe not September 30th.
Stone Age technology right here.
Let's go back one more week before September 30th. Let's go. Let's go September 23rd. The ET tracker was 164.
Oh wow,
164 ejections last year. So
like halfway.
we're not going to
just
hit
under,
that with
yeah.
2 months.
More peaceable year, perhaps.
I think that ABS is
Yeah,
playing a
ABS,
factor.
Yeah.
They're not arguing about balls and strikes and all that there, so I think that's
That's
a
supposed to be automatic ejection in the old days, wasn't it? So
Well,
now
the-
they're not doing it because of ABS. That's a good
yeah. You
point.
can't really argue about something that happened on the scoreboard. Hey, you're wrong.
Do you
But
get any kind of award for having the best percentage of ABS calls? Like I think JT is.
they might have an award, maybe. I don't know, but hey, we could give out an award.
Yeah, say Sports
Yeah.
Track can create one.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be an ESPY for it. Or
Something, yeah.
Okay, so traditionally we do the hottest seat in sports and the shining stars. What do you think we should do first tonight? I know the fans out there on the edge of their seats waiting to see which direction we go.
We can throw a little curveball and go with the hot seat there.
Okay,
I
the
think
hot
there's
seat. It used to be the only seat. But
Yes.
then Corey, bringer of light, and hope, added the shining stars, and it's been smooth sailing ever since. So go ahead, hot seat. Who do you guys have?
I'll let the guys go first because I have one that's off the radar, but
Well, I'm waiting till last, so it'll give me time to come up with something.
I'll go first. I have San Francisco Giants outfielder Harrison Bader. He worsened his foot injury in the past week by drunk driving a scooter into a fire truck, crashing it and injuring his foot even more. And then the Giants then suspended his pay, so now he not only is on the IL, but he is also without pay because of a drunk driving
And you
incident.
said about, what, $170, something like
Yeah.
that? I mean, the Phillies they thought about re-signing him because he was a big part of their stretch drive, but he stinks now.
Yeah.
So, Nick, you got anybody?
Yeah, my hot seat is the Orioles GM, Mike Elias.
I like it,
And
okay.
not for just trading away Adley Rutschman. I know we're going to get to that later. But he came out to the media about 24 hours before the deadline and said that they wouldn't fall into either bucket or another, either sellers or buyers, because they haven't played quite well enough to tear it down or quite poor enough.
What are they, 2.5 out of the
third wild card,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, so they're
Along with
kind of in the
everybody
middle.
else,
I figured that they would just position themselves well for next year, and instead we didn't make a single major league acquisition.
Oh, there's a few.
You can argue about the
Yeah, a few.
the
yeah,
AAA
yeah.
arms or Carlos Narvaez,
Yes.
but no major impact.
And
moves.
Franklin, playing left field.
Yeah,
so it's-
yeah. But to trade away two lineup cornerstones and a top reliever for us, and then to not fully commit to one lane or the other, I'm not entirely sure why Trevor Rogers is still on the team if we're gonna go ahead and sell. So I think he's really got Orioles fans pretty upset.
He did say that we do have a chance for the playoffs, or not we, but the Orioles in the facture still have a chance of making the playoffs. I see it, but I'm not sure what blinders he's viewing. But I was telling Brady before the show. I mean, wouldn't that be almost poetic justice to a degree if they make the playoffs, win a game, and then lose the next two or something? It's like, hey, we won a playoff game. But,
I think that'd almost be more frustrating
Yes.
because it validates whatever the plan seems to be. But that made me pretty angry.
Okay, Corey, you got somebody?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Tennessee Volunteers linebacker Aaron Carter, not the singer Aaron Carter. He's going to be suspended for the first two games. After the season last year, he signed with an agent, NFL agent, to pursue for the NFL draft, for the combine. Well, he accepted a $428 air flight, with this combine and, scouting and all that there. Well, when he got injured, he withdrew for the NFL, went back to Tennessee Volunteer, but with that, he violated the third violation in the NCAA with, taking.
His third?
Well, that's the violation,
Like rule number 3 or
article, yes,
whatever,
yeah, yeah.
okay.
So level 3 violation there, so it's a 2-game suspension. They're playing Furman week 1, so I think the Vols will be okay without.
Will he still get paid by the university?
Well, he'll still probably get his NIL,
It
but
depends what's
yeah.
in their contract. I mean, that's why, and this whole thing about 5 years to play 5 seasons, so you can actually play 5 seasons in college now?
If you are healthy the whole time and with under the age restriction, yeah.
Or you have to be under 24
I
or
think
something?
it's 5 years and under 25. I believe.
25 there, yeah.
I mean, I played varsity football in college. My senior year, I was 20, and that was it. You didn't get a fifth
Yeah.
year, so that's interesting. Well, yeah, look,
Yeah.
the whole landscape has changed because of this NIL, and so
They get rid of red shirts with that though. Like they won't like red shirt if you like a freshman don't play, you won't receive a red shirt since you have
that
5.
counts as
Yeah,
one of your
that
5
counts as one of
years.
your 5 years. Yeah.
but some guys could play 5 seasons.
Yeah.
So. All right, so I did. We stalled long enough. I was able to come up with somebody Philly centric. So I'm going with Bryce Harper because before the trade deadline, he came out and said, "We need help." In essence, those were his 3 words. And apparently that violated the clubhouse culture, that implying that the guys that were there weren't good enough. it could have been taken the wrong way. Or, I think most of, I saw something online that Bryce was going to be traded to the Yankees. And I didn't believe it for a second.
No.
Well, you guys know the internet better than I do.
Yeah.
How do you know what's true and what?
Especially the value of his contract and all that. There's a couple other people like, oh, they're going to release Harper. I'm like, no, he's
And
not
now
going
he
to.
said,
Yeah.
we'll get to this, he's also a shining star because he's moving to right field. He says he loves this organization. He'll do anything for him. But some commentators, and I don't know if his teammates said anything, but commentators like to stir the pot. So he was speaking the truth. They did need help, and they went and got it. So, Nick, we can segue into. We'll come back to the rest of the shining stars, but let's talk a little bit about winners and losers at the trade deadline.
Yeah, I think Philly did a great job, as I think you were alluding to there. This has been a lineup that's been pretty top-heavy all year, and Arise is the type of bat that really just steadies things going on.
Yeah,
I think
mean,
you can
look at
either.
how many times has he struck out? Like 25 all year or something.
Yeah, I
like
think he's a
that?
perfect complement to the big power threats of Schwarber and Harper. He can slot in either at the top of the lineup and get the ball moving up there, or you could drop into the back half and really elongate the lineup.
He's like the complete opposite of Schwarber.
Exactly.
Like no not that he doesn't have power. He has some power, but it's like
Sneaky power.
Yeah, sneaky
Yeah, so
power.
I
A
can
lot,
see
lot of
Martian
singles
left
on
and,
base.
probably platooning Hill the way he's playing. You got to play him against left-handers, and then you got Crawford. I see a platoon maybe
Yeah.
in that spot.
And the other piece in that Arias deal, Caleb Killian,
Yeah.
you get a reliever there with 5 years of control who throws 100. I mean, that's a pretty good throw in there.
Wow.
Yeah. I thought they did a good job.
I sort of had heard of it. I mean, the Phillies don't play the Giants that often,
Mm-hmm.
so he's definitely a major league arm. So that's a great move. So, Dave, we had him on the hot seat last week. He survived the hot seat. Is that last week? Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
there
last
it is.
week, yep.
Last week. Okay, so Tariq Skubal, we said in the old days, would you say competitive balance destroyed? You nullify the trade. I guess contractually they can't do that.
Yeah, I look at the trade where I thought it was going to be a little bit more. I was surprised it was Saturday night. I think what people are up in arms about is the deadline's Monday. Why is the Tigers waiting this early, I guess you could say, to get who they got? I felt like it.
Who cares? I mean,
Well, I mean, just where
that's within the rules.
Yeah, well, what I mean is they could have got a sweeter pot, from another,
from
another team.
team.
That's what I meant by
Okay,
that. There is,
okay.
I looked at it. I think Hope is going to be Zaire Hope is a good prospect. I think he was just log jammed with the other outfield, top prospects that the Dodgers have. I think the Tigers could have got maybe a little bit more in return there. No, I'm not saying they got fleeced in the deal. It's just a lot of people look at it like, oh, the Dodgers got them, give them the championship. I think you look at where the Dodgers are at. They're competing with the Brewers and the Braves of having the top two, because one of them is going to be playing in the wild card round, and it's going to be very interesting to see the Dodgers play. Could be the Padres. I mean, that'll be a very juicy wild card series.
45 games left. I mean, there's still
Something like that.
at least 50 games.
Some.
And everyone's thinking
Hell of a
like,
lot of time left.
with this addition that they're just going to run away with the third one. I mean, I know they're the two-time defending champions, but they were a couple inches away from losing to the Blue Jays last year. They're not untouchable. People could have bad outings. I mean, the Phillies almost beat them in the, was it CS championship series? If it wasn't for a freak error, so.
Ryan Kirkering, yeah. Same guy that gave up 4 runs the other Friday night.
Yep.
And
There's your hot seat.
the Orioles only win that 3-game series. Again, that's why Brady's wearing that hat. We had a little wager. Sports betting is now legal.
So, Nick, what was your thoughts with the whole Tyreek Schoolbowl and the Dodgers and all that there? Because it seems like you have some thoughts in the matter.
I looked at it from a little bit of a different perspective. I think people were just frustrated enough by the move, and I get it as well. I was frustrated too that you start nitpicking the return and be like, oh, they didn't get anything for him. But I think it's important to remember that the Dodgers, second to only Milwaukee, probably have the best farm system in baseball. And Zaire Hope, I know he slots in as their 5th best prospect. He's probably the top prospect in 12 to 15 systems across.
Correct.
Really, really talented kid. And then River Ryan, the pitcher they got, the 27-year-old, is the one I think people are like, a 27-year-old prospect. That's kind of a weird look, like what. But he didn't have a traditional path. He was drafted as a hitter in the Padres, actually. He's really only been pitching for 2 or 3 years. He had Tommy John surgery, so he missed about a year and a half. And he's a really, really talented kid. And from the Tigers' perspective, do you care if you're getting a really talented arm through his age 23 through 27 years or 27 through 33 years? I don't think it matters. I think you're going to get a really talented arm in his prime years. They've already proven that if they have a really talented arm,
They're not going to sign him.
exactly, and he performs well, they're not going to sign him afterwards. So I think they valued more getting a kid in his physical and career prime as opposed to a 21-year-old phenom.
Yep.
It doesn't look as great. I think you would prefer just optically to get like 2 top 100 guys or something like that. But in terms of what makes the Tigers better next year and in the future, I think this was about as good a package as they were going to get. And the third guy, I think Brody Smith is his name.
Brady Smith, I think.
Brady
it is. Yeah.
Smith. Yeah, he's striking out the world in high A. So I think that's a good throw-in. It looks a little bit ugly at first glance, but
I think the reason why it was at midnight and there was no other trades that happened. I mean, there's nothing to kind of, deflect another trade. It was, you wake up in the morning and say, oh, Dodgers got another ace. I think
Well,
that's
the Dodgers
why.
knew that the Tigers had to move him, so, that's a little bit
Yeah.
of leverage right there. I mean, there comes a
mean-
point where, they say, okay, we'll trade him to somebody else, and so, I don't know.
You also look at it from the Tigers' perspective as what is the last 2 to 3 months of Tarek Skubal going to do for their team when he's just going to leave in free agency? Most likely go to the sign with the Dodgers in the offseason anyway.
Well,
So
he'll see if he likes it.
yeah.
know.
A little
so why,
yeah.
So why not go get like a talented prospect or 3 prospects and maybe they'll turn out to something. So
Yeah, I think they made the right decision. I mean, if you're selling him, might as well trade, Casey Mize as well. And that almost didn't come to fruition until the buzzer, then they trade,
Yeah.
he
Well,
went
Ohtani's
to the
comeback
Padres.
is not guaranteed. I guess that's part of their thinking, and,
yeah.
I mean,
Then they got the left-hander Chris Bubich, from the
Royals.
Royals. So
okay, yeah, I mean, you never seem to be able to have enough starting pitching, no matter who you are. Let's go Shining Star, and then we'll come back and talk more about the trade deadline. What do you
With
think of
Adley
what
and all that
Yankees
there,
did, and how about the Red Sox? I mean, let's go there right now. What do you think about the Red Sox?
So what do you think about the trade itself there? I know that,
the Adley trade.
yeah.
My Orioles fandom was very, very frustrated. I think this was as frustrated as I've been at a trade.
But you think the Red Sox got a good deal, right? Because
I think that if you're going to trade Adley, this was about as good a return as they were ever going to get. I think that they definitely played an in-division tax. Boston did, I mean. The 2 arms in particular that they got, Anthony Ianson and Kyson Witherspoon, are immediately the 2 most talented arms that the Baltimore's had, probably since Grayson Rodriguez, in their farm system. And they just don't find arms like that on their own. But trading a first overall pick to Boston of all teams,
To a rival there,
it's really, really hard to stomach for me. What did you think?
I was talking to Corey before the show, thinking of winners and losers of the trade deadline, and I was like, where do I put the Orioles? Do I put the Orioles as a team as a loser? I don't think so because of what they got back, how good the 2 pitchers are. I think that Orioles fans are the losers because you have an emotional attachment to Adley as he was #1 overall pick. His debut moment was so big. He's a 2-time All-Star. Like, Orioles fans love him, and it's like you just don't trade that away.
switch hitter.
Yeah,
Switch hitter.
switch hitter.
Above average
The
catcher.
home run derby where he switch hit in the home run derby. Everyone has great Adley memories, and it's just to throw that away to a division rival really hurts the fans. Although it may make sense for the team, it's just I feel like the fans are the losers, not the team.
I think in a vacuum, like if this happened to 2 other teams and I didn't care about either team in particular, I'd be like, okay, yeah, that's a fine deal going.
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
But
I was surprised he didn't go to the Yankees just because we've been saying this all season, the Yankees catching woes, that's their weak point there. You look at it, there's sources saying that the front office was trying to sign Adley to a long-term deal, never came to fruition. So, I'm right with you. You have a year and a half until his contract's up. If you're not going to sign him, this is the best part, because next year it'd be a rental, and you're not going to get what you just got in return. So I think it's just a little, bitter, when you see a player being a 1-1, in the division. I think that's why it sinks more so. And them not, going all in with the trading mode. Like, if you're going to go there, just trade, Rogers, Trevor Rogers, not Jake Rogers. He was part of that package to the Red Sox there. But I look at it in that sense of, you say you're not going to go either side, and then you go full-fledged sell. So it's just a tough pill to swallow, just because, you look at the American League wild card, it's very.
They're only 2.5 out of the wild card.
But then you look at they're below 500. So, I always say you got to be above 500 to be, in that playoff picture talk conversation there. And, you hate to just kind of limp into the playoffs and just have that 81, 82 wins. But I think the threshold's probably going to be about 84, 85.
Did they get anybody for Dean Kramer?
They got like a
Prospects.
19-year-old.
Yeah.
So I guess we can do Shining Star.
Shining Star? Okay, since I went last, I'll go first.
Like a snake draft.
Derek Hill, the Phillies, they picked him up from the White Sox. He's made a number of outstanding plays defensively and big hits. Another big hit against the Nationals bullpen. They're down 3-0, and I think it's the 8th inning. He hits, or maybe the 7th. He hits a grand slam. They go up 4-3. Kind of like similar to former Philly, Cody Clemens had that grand slam walk-off. What was that, last week maybe?
Ultimate Grand Slam, yeah.
Yeah, with like 2 down, 2 strikes, and boom. It can end that quickly. So anyway, Hill gets it for me for the Shining Star. You got somebody?
Yeah, for my Shining Star, completely Dean Kramer, actually. It's funny you mentioned him earlier. I wanted to highlight a guy who was with the Orioles through the darkest of times and filled a really big role for them. Ate a lot of innings for them. He was never awesome, but he was always good enough.
Good enough
And
for
then-
one dominant start a month.
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
So-
One dominant start a month, about 3 or 4 runs every other time, but he was he posted every single time up in the lineup. And
Where is he now?
he's with the Twins now. But
Okay.
now, and then he nets them a pretty good prospect. I think it slots into the Orioles' top 15, John.
Something like
Something
that,
like
yeah.
that. Which is more than I thought they would get for him.
And that was the last piece of the Manny Machado trade that was still left with the Orioles. So
So just highlight Dean Kramer for good time with the Orioles and
Nice.
ending on a high note.
Corey, you can go ahead.
I'm going to go with the St. Louis Cardinals first baseman Alec Burleson. Last night he hit 3 home runs as the Cards beat the Yankees 13-7. Now this is the first time an NL player has hit 3 home runs in Yankee Stadium. Now that was since interleague started in 1997, and also
In that particular Yankee Stadium.
just in general,
I
just
mean, it
because.
wasn't it's never been done in New York?
Since '97 in
I
interleague
think
play.
okay.
So, I didn't really dive into the fact there.
The
but-
cross-examiner in me comes out, okay?
Oh, it's all good, yeah. Also, it was his personal best single game with 6 RBIs. So, kind of
Burley Burleson, I've seen
early,
him on
yes.
TV.
And he was up for the trade talk, but he was not traded
Okay.
as such there. He was still with the
St. Louis is
Cardinals.
Still
so,
in
yeah.
the mix. I mean, anybody who gets hot down a stretch. I remember few years ago, maybe 5-6 years ago, they were probably still the Indians. They won like 22 in a row.
Yes,
Down the
that was
stretch.
in 2017.
Okay. The year after they went to the World Series, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so Brady, you got a shining star?
Yep, but it's not baseball related. It'll
That's all right.
change gears a little bit. We're going to go with Davis Steele's team from the basketball tournament. Every year, it's called the basketball tournament, TBT. They host a tournament. This year, the prize was $2 million, and they defeated La Familia, which is the University of Kentucky alumni, which featured NBA player Willie Cauley-Stein, Kentucky legends Andrew and Aaron Harrison. So kind of an upset. You would think that the Kentucky alumni blue blood school would be able to dominate. But Davis Steel, which is made up a bunch of smaller D1 guys and some D2, came out on top. So that was pretty cool to see.
So they divide up the money?
Yep, I believe so.
Pretty sweet. All
think
right,
it's like
before
8
I
guys.
forget, we can go free range in a couple of minutes, but I want to make a couple programming announcements. Following trivia at approximately 8 p.m., we will have a special video tribute to Jim Crud, who recently passed away. Jim was active with the station and actually was famous for Night of the Living Dead, or one of the Dead pictures. And he did some work in horror movies, but he was a dedicated civil servant, and he will be missed. So that video tribute is at 8 p.m. tonight, followed by boys basketball from 2025, Northern York versus Gettysburg, played on January 23rd, 2025. Out of the archives. And also current banner sponsors, if you want to be a banner sponsor, just give us a call, 717-324-3000, or contact us online, communitymedia.net/sponsorship. Banner sponsors get creative input in everything we do here at Community Media. And current banner sponsors include Exchange Club of Hanover, Destination Gettysburg, Classic Antique Innovations, Adams County Trout Unlimited, Gettysburg Railway, Adams County Chapter of Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame, and Adams County Community Foundation. Thank you so much to our banner sponsors. All right, so where do we go from here?
We got a voicemail from Robert, is on the line though.
Little Bobby or Robert?
But I have a text from Sean. He says, a voicemail that says, "Hey, I was just wanting to call in and ask your thoughts on Zay Flowers as extension. All right, thanks, bye." I don't think I was supposed to say that ending there, but, that's not Bobby, but
Robert.
Robert,
Okay.
that was the other part there. I think Robert might be on the line, but there was a voicemail about Zay Flowers, so.
What about him?
He got I think 4-year, 100,
140 million.
140 million.
108 guaranteed.
Receiver for the Ravens, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's a massive overpay. He's making, I think it's like second or third most. It's JSN, Jamar Chase, and then Zay Flowers. He's making the same amount as Justin Jefferson and more than CeeDee Lamb, which I do not think he's worth that at all. I don't think.
No, the track record that the
Yeah.
other guys have.
Yeah, I think that's a massive overpay. I mean, I understand keeping him around, but too much money for me.
Was he holding in, or was he?
No, he was participating
Gotcha,
in everything,
okay.
so. Bijan also got an extension.
Yes, he is the top, currently speaking, he is the top running back out there until Gibbs gets signed. But, Bijan Robinson was 3 years worth 75. It's interesting to just see that trajectory and such there. So Robert is still on the line.
Is he getting frustrated?
I can't confirm or deny that one.
All right, anything else we need to cover before we open up the phone lines? LeBron James to the Sixers, we talked about this before, but,
You excited?
I'm excited, yeah.
Are you going to get a jersey?
I don't know about that. I already got some Sixers wear, so.
What about a T-shirt jersey? That's like halfway. in
Maybe,
between.
yeah, maybe. Well, that's what my family gets me, stuff like
There you
that for Father's Day, birthday.
Perfect.
That's like a birthday Christmas gift there because
I know, day before Christmas. If my birthday present is wrapped in Christmas paper, I get very upset. I pout.
Do you guys have any more deadline winners or losers?
I think for me, the winner, I got the Cubs as the winner because I like how they bolstered their rotation with
Gosman's a bulldog, I mean.
playoff
He was great last
experience there, and then have Clay Holmes. I think that is a very X factor where he could be, a starter. If they're having bullpen issues, they could, kind of slide them in
For
the
Yankees,
bullpen.
didn't he, I
So
think? So-
Closer, yeah.
that's where I like that as a winner. A loser, I'm going to go with the Reds. They are currently 5 games under 500, 6 games back from the third wild card, but they had expiring contracts with Singer, Suarez, Pagan, Stevenson, and they're all still on the team. I don't understand
They got nothing back.
nothing back. So they're going to go in the free agency and then, go with another team, but you get nothing in return. So that's where I was kind of troubled having so many still on your team afterwards.
Especially Stevenson, looking what Adley got. I mean, I know it's a different situation being a rental or not, but still, without all the teams, the Yankees that needed catchers, that they wouldn't shop him made no sense to me.
And I think I heard that there was like 25 trades worth of starting pitching, within the weekend, starting, I guess, with Dean Kramer and all that there. So it's interesting to just see all that. And then you just look at the Reds just kind of sitting on, the sideline like, hey, we're just staying put. Where they're clearly not going to make the playoffs. Just unleash.
Many teams ahead of them.
Put the for sale sign up and, let loose. And that's what I liked about the Blue Jays. I like the Jose Soriano trade with the control that they have. And it was kind of funny how teams were calling the Blue Jays to trade. It's not too often you get traded twice in the same day there. But I look at that, basically filling in the role that Kevin Gausman was, but at a cheaper rate and all that there. So I thought the Blue Jays were a lukewarm winner. They weren't buying to go in the playoffs, but they were buying and selling for the future.
Based on that, or talking about the catcher needs, and one of my winners is the Rays. They got catcher Liam Hicks from the Marlins, who's a solid bat, and they also got Freddie Peralta from the Mets, former Brewer. And I think that once Peralta goes to the Rays pitching lab, he is going to go back to how he was in the Brewers, and he's going to be probably one of their better starters heading into the playoffs. So, and then a loser, I would say, would be the Brewers. Why would you not go all in on Skubal to pair him up with Mizorowski as your 1-2 for the playoffs? They would pitch in 3 games out of 5 in a 5-game series and 4 out of 7 in a 7-game series. Those are the amount of games you need to win each series. So I don't understand why you wouldn't, for once, change the hoarding of prospects and letting go of their good guys and finally trade your prospects and go all in and see what happens. So I just don't understand it.
Or at least get some type of pitching.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Building off of your point, real quick on the Cubs, I just wanted to say that I agree with you 100%, and it's nice to see them. They were in basically the same spot last year and did nothing. Mike Soroka was the only starting pitcher they brought in.
Yes.
And it's nice to see them learn from that and, not make the same mistake again. I thought that was cool. And you mentioned Jose Soriano. One of my winners is actually the Angels. I liked that for once they finally, committed to a sell. I think every year that we've done this and every year around the deadline, everyone's like, yeah, the Angels should probably sell. And then they go ahead and invest in a bad team and miss the playoffs anyways. So I think it was refreshing for Angels fans to finally see their team have a direction, a healthy direction at least.
Do you think it's because they have an interim GM that's, probably won't be there next year? Not to say he's like, I'm just going to trade him. But I think it's just a different face in there. Like, hey, they're so far out from the wild card. I think in years past it was like that fool's gold where, hey, we're not that far. Almost like the Orioles being 2.5 games back and all that there. You're not making it. So just trade the farm.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because for the longest time, I think people just blame the owner for that and said, okay, well, what's the GM going to do if the owner doesn't let him, makes him go in every single year? He's got to do what he's got to do. And now that there's a new GM, we're seeing that's not the case. So I think there's a lot of merit to that point.
Let's segue over to the NFL. Training camps have opened. Any big stories coming out of the training camp?
Right now, the Bears have lost their safety, Kobe Bryant, 8 to 10 weeks with a knee injury. So he'll probably be coming back in the middle of October.
They're not even hitting yet, are they?
It
I
was,
think today is first day, right?
yeah.
Okay.
But they do have some good news. I saw Darnell Wright was extended. I didn't see any
Correct.
details on it, but I know that it was a big extension from what I've heard. So
And we got football on Thursday. We got the Panthers and the Cardinals in the Hall of Fame game.
Kenny Pickett versus Carson Beck. So
They actually play it at Canton,
Yep.
yep.
Okay.
Well, they'll do that game on Thursday, and then they'll do,
the Hall of Fame.
the ceremony on Saturday and such there. So
Yeah. We had a Hall of Fame guy on not too long ago, Rick Goslin. Corey and I were here for that. So I don't know, maybe he attends. I don't know. But I've never been to Canton. Any of you guys been there?
I was there about maybe 18 years ago or
Saw
something
the
like
Hall
that.
of Fame?
Yeah.
cool. I have to get there someday. I've been to baseball 3 times and Springfield for basketball. That's it. But,
I think we still got Robert.
oh, we got Robert. Robert, hey, welcome to Sports Chat. Hello.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh,
Well,
Robert. All right.
we lost the line there. But, looking at, with, I guess, putting a bow with baseball, is what race do you see being the most compelling going down the stretch? I know it's not the NL West.
AL West, I mean, they all stink.
I would
But
say
in
that.
terms of how many of them could, like, at least 2 or 3 teams
Well, the
could come out on
Astros
top.
had a 6-game winning streak, and they went from third place all the way up to the first right
Yeah.
now, and they have a 2.5-game
And they got
cushion.
this Alvarez, he's still top in 5 different categories
Mm-hmm.
in all of Major League Baseball.
He was your shining star last week, and he's still doing good. I jinxed the Rangers by putting him as my shining star. They lost every single game this
Yeah.
week,
I
so
mean, it's like the quintuple crown. I don't know if anybody's ever won it before.
Mm-hmm.
Batting average, home runs, RBIs, runs, and hits, total hits.
It's hard to beat there, but I think we got our
We got a caller?
fish on the line there. So let's
Oh,
see what we
hallelujah.
got.
Welcome to
what's on the
Sports Chat.
line.
Hello. Back by popular demand.
Hello. I don't want to beat over dead over here, but LeBron and the Sixers. So if LeBron and Curry had a baby, who would get pregnant and whose last name would they take?
Wait a minute. Can you repeat that, please? Is this a joke?
Yeah, I think he's being serious.
Okay.
I just wanted to know. So if LeBron and Curry had a baby, who would get pregnant and whose last name would they take?
I have no idea.
Steph Curry? Or the Indian Spice? Okay, I don't know. Did anybody want to venture a guess? No. Should we say? Okay, is the answer permitted on live TV?
Sure.
Okay, what's the answer?
It is, I actually don't know the answer. That's why I was telling you.
Well, I guess we're
There's
undecided
a
because
punchline.
we don't really have an answer, and I thought you had the answers, so I guess we're going to be
If Curry
answerless.
and LeBron had a,
Well, ever since the trade, I've been looking for the answer, and I thought that I could find it here, but
No.
I guess you guys just decided.
Yeah, unfortunately,
first-time caller?
What?
Are you a first-time caller?
Yes, I am.
all
Well,
right.
Thank you for calling. Thank you for watching Sports Chat.
Yeah, someone crossed it on my feed and figured I'd call it.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, this is a real brain teaser.
Yeah, it's a loaded question.
Okay, so I'm going to write it down so we can ponder it all week. If LeBron and Curry did what? Had a baby. Okay. All right. Is this code? Maybe the first letter of each word spells out a message or something. If LeBron and Curry had a baby, what would they name it?
Yeah, whose last name would I have, and which one of them would get pregnant?
whose last name? I would definitely say probably LeBron. They'll probably have LeBron's
James.
last name. Yeah.
Or Bronny. Bronny could have done it.
I'm just
Okay, I
speechless
don't
right now.
I think
I'm-
this is a trick question.
Yeah.
I think maybe, the attorney in me says, plead the fifth, guys, I don't know. And whose last name, and who would take the credit?
Yeah,
Okay,
like, whose last name would it be, and who would get pregnant?
okay, all right. Well, they're both,
Yeah.
well, probably, LeBron probably has more assists, maybe that would, I don't know. This is a definitely cryptic type of question. Well, thank you, first-time caller.
Yeah, no problem.
What's your name?
My name is Jeremy.
Jeremy. All right, well, Jeremy, you've certainly left us with something to consider here. So, anything else on your,
It'll take a while to figure out. I mean, I've been thinking about it ever since you got.
okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
All right, Jeremy, thank you.
Yep, no problem.
I don't know where we're going to go from there. I think we're a little off the rails, and I will try to get the ship back on the ocean, or I guess we're going to get the car back on the path there. But I don't know where we're going to go from there. But
We thought it was just Robert.
yeah, I thought that was
Absolutely
Robert
new
too.
and different.
But I guess we can go back to what divisions is going to be compelling.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to say the AL Central. I think the AL Central is going to be compelling because
Every year, we talk about the AL
yeah,
Central, right?
different teams now. We got the White Sox right there. I want to count out the Twins, the Guardians.
Having a turnaround season.
They upgraded as well. We didn't talk too much about the Twins there, but I think it's going to be interesting how those teams shape up in the next 50 games.
The
or
Royals
such
really
there.
laid an egg in that division.
Yes, I think, we can segue into the most disappointing team. And I would say it's probably Kansas City.
The Mets.
The Mets, yeah.
Mets, and I think the other one is probably the Giants. I think the Giants had expectations coming into the season to compete a little bit, and that crumbled so fast. So
Typified by the Harrison Bader experience.
I think that was
Yeah.
the peak of that. Yeah. Nick,
You for disappointing teams, you also could say the Blue Jays, coming off a World Series to being
World
sellers
Series
at the deadline. So
hangover and all that
Yeah.
there.
I think the difference is Blue Jays basically lost their division in April with how many injuries they had. I think the rest of the teams just kind of stunk. The Mets, the Giants, they were just completely underperformed. I think we even saw it by the Soriano move. I think the Blue Jays were just kind of positioning to be good again next year, whereas those other teams I think are going to, be bad for a little bit.
How about Seattle?
Yeah, I think Seattle's a big one. I think honestly, all of the AL West, I actually kind of completely
Except for the A's. Yeah.
Except for
A's
the
are the
A's.
A's.
Yeah. But back to the which deadline race you're most excited for. Any of them except for the AL West, in my opinion, because they're all kind of bad, and I think that they're all disappointing in their own right. I mean, you're wasting a Triple Crown season of Jordan. The Rangers are okay, I guess, in leading the division. Seattle's a huge disappointment. So.
Did anybody get Goodman, the catcher from the
He
Rockies?
stayed with the
He
Rockies.
stayed with the that
Mickey
guy.
Moniak is nearing a 2-year extension.
Yeah.
I think he got it
Did he?
officially. I think it's
Former Philly,
16.25, I think, or something like that.
I'm happy for him. All right, guys, any parting thoughts, shout-outs? We didn't have any hecklers tonight, or we just had a arcane caller with
That was pretty close to being a
Cryptic
heckler,
message.
but yeah, that was
he did give us a name.
Jeremy there. So that was first for Jeremy.
All right.
It's not too often I'm speechless, but I
What,
was.
if we don't know what to do someday, we need something to talk about, we can revisit this, because I wrote it down for all time.
That'll be definitely when we're going through the 1,000th episode, looking back in the notes, that'll be definitely something we stop and remember.
Yeah, like,
so.
what the heck is this?
Yes.
Anyway, so next week I won't be here. Are you guys available?
I believe so.
Should be.
Corey
Yeah,
will be
I'll-
in charge.
We'll
I'll be reading the
officially
banner
be-
sponsors and all that there.
Super,
So yeah.
super.
Football
Remember, at
will
8 o'clock
officially be
after
back.
trivia, the tribute to Jim Crut will be held, and following that, something out of the archives, set the Wayback Machine for the year 2025 boys basketball, Northern New York at Gettysburg. Well, the new season is popping the pads. It's not too far away, and
Thursday.
starting in September, we're going to have a 10-game season for you, live action right here on Community Media Sports. Special thanks, as always, to Sean in the control room, and for all of you at home tuning in. For Nick, Brady, and Corey Smith, I'm Jeff Cook. See you next Tuesday. Well, you'll see these guys, and I'll be back in a fortnight. Until then, everybody, mahalo. And thanks
This
to Brady
program
for
is
wearing
made
that hat.
possible by these municipalities through a portion of their cable franchise fees. Thank you to our amazing sponsors. We would also like to thank all of our Patreon members. Community Media, celebrating who we are and what we do as a community. And Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms. Thank you.